So I would like to introduce you to Miranda de Hans. I hope I said your last name correctly. Please correct me if I'm mistaken. And
Anya.
Dehain, thank you, thank you. And then Dale Troy. So maybe if you could we'll start with Miranda. If you could tell us a little bit more about your story, your expertise, and then once we've had that, we'll share Dale's expertise, and then we'll go from there. So please share your story and please share what amazing expertise you have.
Well, my background is in animal health technology, and I am now a pet safety expert. And I got into this journey, I guess you could say, largely because of part of my training in the animal health technology program, because part of it was we had to work in the euthanasia section of the Humane Society. And it opened my eyes because I hadn't realized that a lot of the animals in those shelters were not just getting euthanized because they were sick or had something wrong with them. They were also getting euthanized because the shelters were running out of room and they needed to make room for more animals that were coming in. And it just, when I started reading some of the different reasons that people were surrendering their animals, it really made me realize that there's a lot of areas here where if people knew where to go to get the information and the resources and the tools that might help them with some of these issues, they might not feel the need to surrender their animals. And it was just heartbreaking for me to just realize that there's just so many animals without homes, and that's something that's kind of shifted a little bit with the pandemic, but I'll go into that later.
Yeah, it's an interesting story, isn't it, with the pandemic happening? What's been going on with this whole dynamic? And I'm so glad we're bringing this to fruition, because people need to be aware of what's going on. And I'm so grateful for what you're doing, because your mission to be able to educate people and give them solutions. Because when we bring a pet into our home, they become part of our family, and we don't want to relinquish them. If there's a way to help support that during these challenging times, how amazing is that? And then from a pet's perspective, that's their family. So it's a win-win. If we can find ways to help animals in our lives and support them, there's so many, it's the gift that keeps on giving. Animals give us so much care and love in their own way. So thank you for what you do. It's amazing. If we could have Dale pop in, I think she was very kind to sort of close her screen, but I'd love to hear a little bit more about Dale's expertise.
Sure, I'm here.
Super.
Hi. This was a perfect panel for me to be on because I'm a huge dog lover. I don't know if you knew that, but I have two dogs who are barking in the background. Hopefully you won't hear them. But I'm here because I'm a college success coach, which means that parents hire me to help their kids be successful in college. And these are skills beyond straight academics. They're things that are going to help them they're really life skills that will help them in college, do well in college, and also beyond once they get into the real world. So a lot of it has to do with managing stress and having different habits and tools at their disposal so they know how to really perform well and feel comfortable on college campus and just have a great experience.
That's a huge thing. And because you are an animal lover and you have pets in the family, and we, when we call, I don't even like to use the word pet. I think they're part of our family. So they're just an extension of our family, and they just happen to have fur.
Right. That's true.
So you've experienced, being a specialist in the stress management field and having animals in your life. What's been your experience in terms of how that's provided you the bounties of that, like in terms of stress management? Do you find these benefits?
Oh, absolutely. In fact, I've been online working from home for many years. And now that we're all home, my dogs realize there's a change, because I basically don't leave the house. So they have now become my assistants. They sit with me in my office and all day long while I'm on my computer, and it's really fantastic. And whenever I'm feeling a little tense, all I have to do is pick one up and hold it for a few minutes, and my stress is relieved immediately. So there's definitely something to that. And in fact, I always tell the college students that I work with to find some dogs or cats on campus living with the professor or somebody else. And if you like animals, that's a great thing to do when you're feeling anxious.
Yeah, animals.
So I really believe in that, totally.
Yeah, they seem to have that gift, right? They just automatically put us into our parasympathetic or our rest and digest mode. They help to bring us back to our breathing and to our calm sensations. And yeah, it's pretty quickly too at that, don't you find?
Really quickly. It doesn't take me long at all. So yeah, I mean, it's kind of like instead of just, you can do deep breathing while you're holding the animal. It's even better. But it's that kind of thing. It's just like a reset for your body. I think it's oxytocin that is produced immediately. So it really feels great.
Yeah, it's that happy hormone that makes you feel attached.
Yep.
And comforted. Yeah. Good old hormones. We love that.
Yeah.
Miranda, maybe you can chime in. We would love to hear sort of your experience. You have many years of experience with animals and the benefits. Can you please share? I'd love to hear some of your stories as well. I'm sure you've got animals at home as well. Yeah.
Actually, contrary to what most people believe, I don't have pets at home.
Okay. Well, you see a lot of them during the day, so you probably
Yeah. Well, it's a personal choice for me because for the most part, my lifestyle has not been conducive to having an animal, and this is one of the things that I want people to realize before they get a pet as well. For me, I didn't feel like I had enough time to be able to spend with an animal to make it fair for them. They would be spending a lot of time alone at home, and that's, to me, just not fair to them. Excuse me. So I do get contact with some other animals. I do work from home, so most of the animals that I am in contact with are when I go outside. And there is so much benefit that we can get from them if we know how to work with them, if we know how to understand them. And they give so much to us without question. They can help our physical health, they can help our mental health, they can help our children to thrive, and it can help them, well, both children and adults, help them through emotional traumas. So, especially children, and this is my own personal experience as well, but when a child goes through some kind of a trauma, and it could be, traumas can range in from serious to mild, and we all perceive traumas in a different way. But when especially young children, when they go through a trauma, they don't know how to communicate. They don't know how to express what they're feeling, what they're going through. And sometimes they don't have somebody in their life that will help them to process and work through those emotions. So having an animal can be really beneficial that way, because it gives them somebody that they can talk to that is just going to listen to them. They're not going to question them. They're not going to judge them. They're not going to invalidate how they feel. And so that can be so important for them to be able to process their feelings and work through whatever it is that they're dealing with. But it can also help them when they're growing up with an animal too, with different things like building confidence, learning emotional and social skills, having better self-esteem. So they learn more empathy, responsibility if they're involved with helping to take care of their pet. So it can create a much more well-rounded individual, an adult for society as well.
Some powerful words. Really good point when we're talking about comforting our children during these unprecedented times and trying to find solutions to being able to give them a sense of norm. I love the way how Dale explained earlier about how her dogs give her comfort when she's in more of a confined space, and they give her that comfort and sense of stability and love, and how you bring that back to children and how their lives have been turned upside down. And now they're finding themselves a little bit more enclosed and not being able to be social like they normally would at school and so on. So having those animals around gives them that comfort, that sense of stability, sense of safety. And that's so amazing. That the power of what an animal in our lives can provide is so healing and therapeutic.